I told myself it was time for me to go do what God wants me to do for the rest of my life. In January, I didn't know what that was at all, but I knew I needed to leave corporate America and go do something, to give back, if you will.
Each one of us has a story. It's being written in moments of both joy and pain, in life's triumphs and its tragedies. It holds the power to inspire, to deliver hope, to bring change, but only if we will use the power of a voice.
Troy, I always say everybody has a story, and you have a heartfelt story. I'm going to back up because I have never seen you not smile.
That's true.
So that's why the heart story.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
I'm a lucky guy. Been married to my wife, Evelyn, for 28 years. She's an amazing lady, and she's part of the story we'll talk about today for sure, because she's such an inspiration to me, running her own business and everything. But I moved to California after college.
Denver boy?
I'm a native Coloradoan, Littleton boy. Went to Arapahoe High School and went away on a football scholarship to play football in college in Idaho, which was a lot of fun. And then moved straight to Southern California with a couple of buddies and ended up, meeting Evelyn in Southern California, getting married, buying our first house together. Both of our children were born in Southern Cal. Kennedy is our daughter, who's a 27-year-old nurse here in Denver now, and then our son, Cale, who just graduated from college. He's going to be 24 here next month.
And your business partner.
And my business partner, yes, which is a huge blessing.
Okay, so let's fast forward. You're a corporate America guy. Why the ice cream now?
So had a fairly long and successful career in corporate America, and just this past January, when my son graduated from college, pretty much told myself it was time for me to make a change. Now that got the kids all the way through school and kind of did my job, right? In January,
not off the payroll.
Yeah, almost. I told myself it was time for me to go do what God wants me to do for the rest of my life. In January, I didn't know what that was at all, but I knew I needed to leave corporate America and go do something, to give back, if you will.
And as the story goes, you and Evie were watching TV.
Correct. Yeah. Evelyn and I were sitting down watching ABC World News Tonight with David Muir. And he always has this little segment at the end of his program called America Strong. It's a little, 2-minute story about something great happening in America. It always makes Evelyn and I cry every time we watch it, And this thing came on about Howdy Homemade Ice Cream, which was a franchise based in Dallas, Texas. And their mission is all about creating jobs for folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities, primarily Down syndrome and autism. And we saw that, and I just said, that's it. That, was like a lightning bolt. That's the thing that I want to go do the rest of my life.
So you go to Dallas. You call the guy?
Well, after we saw it on ABC World News Tonight, I just did some research on it, and I found out that they do franchise, and they did not have a franchise in Colorado, so just sort of pursued it and talked to the founder, a guy by the name of Tom Landis, who's an amazing, Christian man, a man after my own heart. This a big part of why I'm doing this, as I said, is because of my Christian faith and wanting to do what, God wants me to do and love other people. And these are the people we're going to go love on. So, met Tom and loved what they're all about and applied to get the franchise in Colorado. And I'm told out of 33 applicants as a result of that ABC World News Tonight story, we were granted the franchise.
How did you win the grant out of 33 people?
So it started with an application, and we had to fill out a pretty lengthy application. A lot of stuff involved in that. But there were a couple components that I think really stood out that helped us get selected for the franchise for Colorado.
Such as?
So I'll start with that I was very overt with, my faith and my belief in God, and that's why the primary reason for me wanting to do this. That was throughout the application, and I think that really stood out to those that were making the decision, and I think that was an important component of who they wanted to select. Second was thanks to my wife. My wife's been a very successful business owner for quite some time. She owns a women's clothing boutique called Evie K. There we go.
Ta-da! Yeah.
And having her as an example and someone that can be my mentor in starting a business, because it's the first time I've ever done this, has been really helpful. And that also came through in the application. I think that they could see that there would be, I would have some help and guidance along the way on how to go start.
Does she know that?
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. I'm hoping she does anyway. She read the application, and that was a really big part of it, right? That was a big part of it for me, is to say, hey, I've got someone that's done it here, and she's going to help in a big way.
But you were a support for her.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what marriage is all about, right? She's a support for me. I'm a support for her, most definitely.
And the third thing?
I would, the third thing, having the ability, I've been in a fortunate position to be able to have the ability to invest in it and make it come to fruition. So, and that's through all the hard work, throughout my career, and being able to, make this pivot and make this change.
How many heroes do you have?
We have about 15 hired right now in preparation for our grand opening. Many of them it's a part-time, right? They go to school and, have other, functions. They also have benefits. Some of them have benefit ceilings that they need to sort of stay under from an earnings perspective. So we got to be pretty flexible with our hours. But to answer your question about 15 amazing individuals that we're so excited about.
Can you share a story or two?
Yeah, I sure can. Well, I've just, recently been involved with a couple of events with a few of our heroes. So number one, we've been working with the Air Force Academy, and we've been able to work with a few of our heroes selling ice cream at the Air Force Academy sporting events. And it's just awesome to have them down there and, serving ice cream to folks at the Air Force Academy football games.
And are they as excited to be at the football game?
They are. It's down in Colorado Springs, so we've worked with a couple of organizations down there, the Skills Academy probably being the biggest of which is an organization that helps teach skills to folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They've provided us with some amazing heroes that work with us on Saturdays, and we have a list of folks that we work with, and unfortunately, I can't use them all every Saturday, so they all want to work every Saturday. They just love it. It's such a fun environment.
How do you deal with that?
I just have to tell them and their parents, hey, we're going to take turns and rotate on who gets to work, and they understand.
When the hero goes home, do the parents notice the difference or the confidence?
I hope so. And the reason that I think that I can say that they do is their parents contact me and want them to work other days because they love it. So
that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is.
I have to ask, does Tom have any disabled children? What was the cause of him starting this ice cream?
Yeah, his story is a really cool one. So he's a long-term restaurant guy, always been in the restaurant business forever, always kind of, owned his own restaurants with partners or whatever. And one of the most challenging things in the restaurant business is employees. Had a really hard time with that. And so he ended up hiring a young guy with Down syndrome who turned out to be one of the best employees he's ever had. Always on time, loyal, loves what he does, treats his customers phenomenal. And so he got the idea that, hey, there's something here. And he went and hired a couple of, folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And then that's what gave him the idea that he wanted to go start a business where folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities could really thrive. And the ice cream business is what he decided to start.
Why ice cream? Sweet?
Well, I don't know all of the reasons, but one of the reasons is, call it somewhat simple. The ability for someone with a special need or intellectual or developmental disability to come in and be able to handle the job sort of soup to nuts without worrying about anything. So,
And you have a grand opening coming?
Yes, we do. So we've been working hard. We got the franchise. We're working hard on getting our first location in Colorado open, hopefully of many. And so our grand opening's coming up here on the 15th
And
of October.
where are you?
We're actually in the city of Aurora. We're kind of right on the border. We're at the intersection of Arapahoe Road and Parker Road, right by Regis High School.
Okay, so I'm going to go back. Your business partner is your son.
So I always say that, there's two blessings here. One is that, I get to go do what I really believe God wants me to do and love people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and create opportunities for them. The other is my son, after he graduated college, decided that he wanted to jump in. And so I get to work with my son is the second blessing.
And his goal is?
Well, his goal is to learn how to run a business. And so he's going to be our general manager. And
Good for him.
Yeah. Talk about jumping into the deep end of the pool,
Yeah.
learning how to run a business from scratch and taking it over and actually running it. It's a great learning opportunity.
How do you find your employees?
It's been an interesting. There isn't just, I'm used to in corporate America, if I want to hire someone, you just go to a recruiting agency. Pretty simple, right? That doesn't exist in this community. And so we've really had to go get our name out there and spend a lot of time introducing ourselves to the various, call it players in the intellectual and developmental disability or world, if you will.
Why that arena?
That's just what God told me I need to go do. I don't know. I feel like I have a heart for them. They're amazing people, and I love being around them, and I love their families. And so we call our employees heroes. We don't call them employees. And so when you come into our store, you're going to be greeted by one of our heroes, and they're going to scoop ice cream for you, and you're going to leave our store better than you came in it. But their families are the real heroes. If you think about, what they've done to raise these people into amazing, young adults, they're phenomenal people, and I love spending time with them.
And your interview process is with I'm going to say kid, the
Young adult.
Yep, young adult and their parents.
Correct. Yep.
Why?
That's usually how we start out. Because it's a community and everyone's involved when it comes. A lot of these folks, this is the first job they've ever had in their lives.
They'll never leave.
Yeah, well, to some degree that's great. To another degree, I hope they do. I hope this is a first step into becoming really successful in life and achieving their goals.
Is that your drive?
Yeah, definitely. It's all about creating jobs for folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities. That's the drive. We want to create as many jobs as we can.
And that's not a well-known community, correct?
To me, God tells us the two most important things in the Bible are love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love other people. And when it comes to loving other people, I believe you need to choose where you're going to spend your time. I'm choosing to spend time in this category of people that I think the world casts aside. And people with intellectual and developmental disabilities are definitely cast aside in a lot of ways. So,
Why?
By society.
Because I don't want to face it. I don't have the patience.
People don't believe that they can do a job well. And that's crazy because they're amazing. And in a lot of cases, they're as good or better than anybody else we could hire for this job.
So at what age does a hero falter themselves, like the self-esteem?
Well, I don't think they're any different than any of us. I really don't. So I don't know exactly what age that is, but we have people that have come to us that are 16 years old up to, in their 30s that are wanting to come to work for Howdy Homemade Ice Cream. It's awesome.
So we're going to have the grand opening. And what do you do aside from that? Catering?
Yeah. So we have three components to our business, really. So we have the store. Obviously, it's a traditional ice cream store. You're going to come in and eat ice cream, and it's a really
Get
good,
fat and
fun
happy,
environment.
okay.
Exactly. And that grand opening, like we said, is Saturday, October 15th. Catering is another part of our business. So we'll cater with pre-scooped ice cream cups that people can order, and we'll cater events. corporate events where the corporations, it's a really good employee engagement opportunity for a corporation to bring us in, because we bring our heroes into the office, if you will, and the company will buy the ice cream and serve it to their employees. But who serves it to them is one of our heroes. And it's really awesome to see one of our heroes there serving ice cream to a
What is the reaction?
It's interesting. So
Yeah.
it's all over the board, from not sure how to engage with them and kind of wanting to, maybe not engage with them so much, to others just dive right in and, and engage with our heroes and it kind of brightens their day, honestly.
And what do you think that fosters?
Well, like I said, so for the company who's going to be, deciding to have us come in and cater ice cream and provide it to their employees, it really helps with their employee engagement, because what it says is, hey, we have a company here that is doing something that they care more than about just making money for whatever it is their company does.
Goodwill.
Exactly right. Yeah. The third component of our business is we've created what we call our Howdy Homemade Hero Club. And this is cool.
Say it fast. I can't.
And so people can go to our website and sign up and choose to sign up at different levels, $10 a month, $20 a month. They get free ice cream every month when they come to the store. We send them a T-shirt. We hold, this is kind of our VIP club, so we're going to hold exclusive events with ice cream tasting and guests, and it's going to be fun little events that we'll create. But what it's really about when you join that club is coming alongside us and helping to support our mission and to create more jobs, to keep jobs during the winter when ice cream kind of slows down, and help us create more jobs in the future. Hot chocolate, yeah.
Is your end all goal to form a charity for heroes, to form a community, be a community leader of heroes?
Well, I don't know where this will take me in terms of my involvement in the IDD community. And I hope that I'll get really involved and be able to do some amazing things. But our goal is real simple. It's not to create a charity. It's to prove that these folks are as good or better workers than anybody else and just create as many possible jobs as we can, whether that's through Howdy Homemade Ice Cream or some other vehicle.
And the array of heroes that you have, that their disabilities are?
Like I said, it's primarily autism and Down syndrome is where we focus, which is the majority of the IDD community.
And do you find that autism is a so wide of spectrum?
Definitely. I mean, folks have different capabilities, right? And we love that. So just like everybody else, we're all different,
But they're labeled.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Is Kale going to start a foundation?
I don't think he's going to start a foundation. That's not what this is about. What it's about is, like I said, it's we think these people are amazing, and they should have every opportunity to reach their goals in life and have a job and be fulfilled. And one of the ways to do that is through employment. So our job is going to be to grow this together as big as we can, and someday he's going to go off and run it himself. And I hope we have multiple locations throughout Colorado and doing tons of catering and creating, hundreds of jobs for these people.
And is your goal also to expose these heroes to different corporations?
Definitely. That's one of our goals, is to have other companies see how amazing they are, see how in a lot of areas they're the best employees out there, and that they should start hiring these folks.
And do you know who hires heroes?
Well, yeah, so there's a number of organizations here in Colorado that do a really amazing job that have been doing this in Colorado for some time. Some of them are nonprofit. A couple of them are for-profit. So we're definitely not the first. So we want to come alongside them. And ARC is the biggest one. There's in Colorado.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And they do a really amazing job. And there's a company called Brewability and Pizzability down on Broadway, and there's a couple coffee shops. So there's a.
Are you learning lessons from those?
I've tried to meet them, and yes, absolutely, yeah.
And what do they say? The commonality.
I mean, it's just the commonality is number one. how incredibly fulfilling it is. It's a great place to spend your life and have a mission, but it's got its own set of challenges, no doubt about it. And you just have to be purposeful, intentional, and focused on, this space. And if you do it with intention, you can be really successful in doing it.
And your smile must help.
I have no reason not to smile in my life. I'm a blessed guy.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Are you going to start like a United Way organization for?
No, we're really not. That's not the goal. It's
So serve ice cream.
Who knows where it will go? But yeah, right now we think there's such an opportunity here to expand and to grow and to create as many of these jobs as possible and give these people an opportunity. That's where we're going to focus our time for the next several years anyway.
So how many companies, corporations do you want now?
We'll see. We're actually we're partnering, for instance,
Yes.
with Lolly and Pops, and so it's a candy store. They're in most of the malls across the United States. A couple here in Denver. They're headquartered in Denver. A lady by the name of Carrie Morris is the CEO of Lolly and Pops here in Denver. We're going to sell their candy in our shop. And one of the things that Carrie's trying to do and her staff is to start hiring folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities to work in their stores too.
And how did that relationship?
Through a conversation between Carrie and I. And, so that's the kind of thing that we want to do, is to prove to the world that, again, these folks can be as good or better than anybody else out there and from an employment perspective.
So I'm going to plug myself because that's the power of a voice.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I'm going to say the power of a smile.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. Tell us the website.
Yeah. So howdyhomemade.com.
Say it again.
Howdyhomemade.com. And if you go up to the top and click on Scoop Shops, and you'll see Denver. And if you click on Denver there, you'll get right to our specific page, and you can join our Howdy Homemade Hero Club. And
Once upon a time, you had a challenge. What did you learn from that challenge? What was that challenge in your prior life, in this life, and this ice cream life? And what was it, and how did you overcome it?
yeah, I would say, I've had lots of challenges in my life, no doubt about it. One of the biggest challenges in the corporate world, and one of the things that, I've just found it difficult to deal with, is my desire to pursue God's will for my life. And in the corporate world, that's really hard. How I overcame that was, it's all about people in the corporate world. And I've been fortunate to just establish some phenomenal relationships throughout my career. And I'm really proud of, the relationships that I've built with a lot of people in the corporate world. But I couldn't be over, with my faith as much as I wanted to. So being able to overcome that now and do it in the Howdy Homemade setting is awesome.
And the challenge in the Howdy ice cream world?
We are opening a store in arguably the worst possible time in history. The costs are astronomical. Supply chain delays have been unreal. We've delayed our grand opening, a couple of times. I love the construction company we're working with. It's challenging for them as well. So it's just been, delay and cost. It's been painful, really painful. So we're going to be really happy to get this door open and get going.
But a good lesson for your son?
Yeah, really. It's been a great lesson to go through this with him. And boy, the learnings that I'm sure he's getting, it just got to be unreal.
Your son and my son will start a business.
That's right. Yeah, I was loving your son.
Where is the ice cream made?
We make it all homemade.
In your kitchen?
No, right in our shop. Yeah. So we've got all the equipment right there. It's, we can produce pretty significant amounts, but the ice cream's amazing. So Howdy Homemade Ice Cream has some really great recipes. We went down to Texas and got trained on how to make ice cream. And, my son's pretty proficient at it. He and his girlfriend have been working on it for a while. It's really, really good ice cream. You got to come try it.
And you have the heroes make their own?
So some of our heroes will be involved in the process of making ice cream. Some won't. Mm-hmm. Most of them, it's greeting the customers as they come in and scooping already made ice cream from our dipping well for customers and ringing them up on our cash register, et cetera.
In corporate America, were you like, okay, the challenge between your religion and corporate America, like to stifle it, what you were really about?
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the challenges that I've had to overcome, and I made the decision in January. It was time to step away from corporate America and go do something different where I could truly know it was my purpose and my calling.
And how long did you live in corporate America?
Oh gosh, my entire career. So after college, it's been a lot of years.
How many years, Troy?
I don't know, since when I was 20. So
A little boy.
what is that, 40-some, 42, 40-some years?
So that had to have been like a strong belief.
Definitely. It was a big decision. Definitely.
And your family was part of that decision, or your heart?
Most definitely. But my family was, especially my wife, Evelyn, was a big part of it because it's a big decision. It's a little scary being out there on this, but.
And what did your son go to school for?
He graduated with a sports marketing, a sports management degree, which is the business side of sports, is what it is. So
Like mine.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And ice cream, real estate. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be just that I spent my life caring for, loving, and helping people. That's simple.
Your wife is a friend of mine.
Yes.
How has she taught you to run a business?
It's amazing. I'm so proud of her. And I've been able to watch it, me working in corporate America and her start a business from scratch, 100% on her own. It's just been unreal. I mean, she did everything.
She still does.
She still does, yes. It's all on her own, and so it's just amazing. I have a perfect example of someone that just made the decision, went for it, and, started a business and has, been pretty successful. So.
The input, did you watch from afar and only supported or advised when it was needed, or it was a joint effort?
Well, no, I think she mostly did it on her own. I think it was more of me advising from afar and helping her where she needed help a little bit. But I got to tell you, that lady did it all on her own, and it's incredible.
You have to tell her that, right? And is she coaching, watching, suggesting?
Definitely.
From afar?
She's
in it.
She's in it with us, yes, and really helping out and providing a lot of suggestions along the way and lessons that she's learned that hopefully I don't have to painfully go through like she probably had to. So, yeah, she's just a tremendous help.
And your wife has a mobile?
It's the coolest business.
A mobile?
A truck.
Shop.
She calls herself the truck driver, but she has a mobile women's clothing boutique that she takes to private parties and events and, all over the place. And it's a pretty amazing truck. She purchased it, had it designed and everything all by herself. When you walk into that truck, it's like you're in a store. It's got an own dressing room and everything. So,
but you were part of the truck.
I helped her financially buy the truck.
And it took a while.
To get it done?
Yeah. Customized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It took a while, and she's the one who found the company that fabricated a truck in Kansas City, Missouri. She's the one that, contracted with them to do it, and she's the one who designed the whole thing. And we finally ended up taking a trip together to Kansas City. And I remember we got off the plane and we got in a rental car and we were driving to this facility, some remote place in Kansas City, and we were both secretly hoping that there was actually a business there, because we'd all done it over the phone and over the internet, and we showed up and they had the truck almost ready to go. It was great.
Surprise!
Yeah. But she did it all. from
So
scratch.
you can do it.
Absolutely. Like I said, I have an amazing example of what to go do.
And your son has an example.
Definitely. Yeah. He's going to be a go-getter, Yeah.
First of all, I want to know where my ice cream is. And I want to thank you for being here.
You're welcome, Lori. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it.
The power of a voice, honey.
Thank you.
Thank you.